I found that on a Zoom meeting, it is very convenient to make pom-poms. And I always listen best when I have something to do in my hands. So that works out. And then, whew, I have a basket of yarn that is not on the wall. It's just different stuff that I've collected that I don't really expect to use for, you know, some of it's acrylic, some of it's just not colors that I usually use. So this has been a great opportunity to put some of that stuff to use. I actually donated some. I mean, you know, taste change and that kind of thing. But now, I mean, isn't that fun? So I am making these crazy little gumdrop bushes kind of thing. I mean, they look like little bushes. Doesn't that look like a shrub? I'm making shrubbery, yarn shrubbery. Tribbles. What do you think, Ella? Xavier says I'm making tribbles. She is convinced that she should be able to chew on a tribble. Aren't you? Oh no, she's just having a rest at my feet. Sweet girl. So, you're not hard to trim. You just grab a hold and then cut off whatever seems to be sticking out a little bit too much. And I do not get real perfecty about this because I want them to be very, I want them to look like they're just happy and a little bit crazy. So that's fun. Oh, and I went to Michael's and found they have Garland that is these felted balls. And so I bought a couple of those. And then, whoops, one got away from me. And then there were some colors in the collection that I didn't like. So last evening, I wrapped them with a coat of just acrylic yarn. And so the ones that were colors that I didn't like, I did two ways. One, some of them, because there wasn't very much of the lime green, which I wanted more of. And there was, there's this variegated yarn that's really great. So I am very happy to be making. Oh, that's going to be so much fun to string those up into some garland for the house here. There's something about this year that I have really been feeling the urge to decorate the house. I haven't had, like, because of our tiny house experience, I haven't had like a big tree or done a lot of decorating. It just felt like it just kind of feels like the antithesis to being a minimalist. So I haven't done anything like that for a very long time. However, this year I have the urge. So I might just do something. Just do a little something around the house to decorate, and using up some trash yarn is an ideal way to do that because this acrylic stuff is probably not a good fit for the work I do. But the colors are fun, and I mean, come on. Whee! I think they turned out really cute. They're not too perfect, so I'm happy with that. Let's see how this goes. Some of the bulkier yarns tend to be a little bit strange when you try to make a pom-pom from them, but let's see how this one looks when I give it a haircut. So all I do is I try to do the tie in a contrasting color. So all I do is just grab it and pull to get that messy mop all in my hand together. And then, like this one that's sticking out a little bit, you just give it a little bit of a haircut. No problem. Trim the frizz. And then that's how it turns out. I love them. I do think they look like shrubbery. Doesn't that look like a shrubbery? I am making yarn landscaping, apparently. I don't know. So the intention was actually to make these to go in the garland with the felted balls. They are a little bit bigger than seems quite right for that application. So I don't know. But they will be wonderful. They will be wonderful. Just give it a little haircut. And so I'm not even getting real exact with it, you know? And then, woof, just like that. And then it looks like, it looks like a happy little tree. That's what it looks like. It does. It looks like a happy little tree. Okay, so this skein of yarn was so chaotic that I didn't even think it was really worth trying to untangle it all to make a pom-pom in the usual way. So this is really going to be a crazy one. I just I just put, because it was one of those long ones, I put a tie on one side of the skein and a tie on the other side of the skein. And now I'm going to just give it a little trim. But this is something that I would not have even been able to use because it was so knotted up. So a pom-pom is ideal for this scenario. Whee! And I may have to make that one a little shorter. It's pretty fluffy. So I'm taking about a 1/2 inch off because it will look a little fuller if it's shorter. It's not quite so long. I don't know. This is starting to look more like a tassel. I don't know. I feel like I know people with this hairstyle though. Early on, I went and picked out yarn on the wall in the color scheme that I wanted for my Christmas decorations. And this is inspired by a painting that's here in the dining room. So I used that as my framework for how to choose the colors for my Christmas decorations. Basically, I took this with me in my purse, and everything that I saw at the store, I held this up against it, and if it worked with it, then that was great. I could consider it. If it didn't, and trust me, this is not the color scheme that you're finding in a lot of the stores right now. They've Big Lots, they're very dark federal Christmas colors, and some pale pink and gold Christmas colors. And then, yeah, there's just not a lot of bright.
I hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
Tuna.
We'll talk later. Ooh, that looks good.
Sorry.
Oh, that looks really good. Bye.
Yeah.
I am absolutely in love with how this turned out. Now, I have the wool balls that I got at Michael's. They sell them in a big long garland. They were $15 minus 40% because it was the pre-Christmas sale or whatever. And I didn't like the colors on some of them, so I wrapped them, the ones I didn't like. And then I've paired it with little bow ties made of felt. Now basically all you need to do on these is take a piece of felt, cut off about a 1/2 inch, All right, this is felt that I had on hand, and it happens to be wool felt, so I don't know if this will behave the same way if it's not wool, but give it a little cut. You just are doing a 1/4 inch, no, sorry, 1/2 inch. Give it a little cut and then tug it a little, because it's not the easiest thing to tie if you don't, here. It's not the easiest thing to tie if you don't tug it a little. And then you give it a little knot, like so. Tug, tug. I used a needle to just push right through there. I did it with I had a cutting board to help me. So I went with the needle through these and through the felt balls. And then I just used this big chunky yarn to tie it to the strand of lights. And I'm really loving how it turned out. And I used this big chunky yarn because look, it goes with that painting I did in high school. Yeah. And one of my favorite aspects is that it matches the chandelier that I did a while back. And this is just loaded with lots of color, and these, the Garland has the same color family. So basically what I did is that I made myself a little bundle of the colors that are in here and that are in another painting that is in the room. And I took this with me when I went shopping, and this was how I was able to make sure that I got the colors that I want. And I didn't have to guess. It makes shopping so much easier when you know where you're starting from, and that way everything matches. So this one, I'm really happy with how this garland turned out. And now I think I'm going to turn my attention to a couple of other spots in the house. I just want a little bit of a festive, happy, cheerful thing going on because, you know, COVID and all that. So here we go. Okay, I still have more of these, which is really wonderful. And you can get these guys. They are two-tone felt balls, lots of different color choices here. And they are about 1 inch. They're a little bit shy of 1 inch. They are wool, and I got them at Michael's. So they are a 6-foot strand marble pom-pom garland by Ashland. They are regular price $14.99, on sale for $8.99. If you have a coupon, that's even better. But they are just really super, super cute. And they have some solid color ones too. But these are the ones that spoke to me because, you know, the more color, the merrier, right? So if you've got like a Michael's coupon, this is the time. This is the time to use that. I've already said this a couple of times, but at the risk of repeating myself, there were some colors in the blend that I wasn't crazy about. So I just wrapped them with yarn, and then I took the needle and just put the needle through kind of in the side because it's not the easiest thing to get the needle through. So I put it through the side. And then you get all those little threads together. And this is where it's really important to have good lighting. Send the end of that yarn through the thread and then just pull. And once you've got, that will kind of keep it from unraveling. And then just trim that and then you're good to go. So that's how I made the little yarn balls. Cute, right? Crazy cute, I think. So, and you know, we were watching a little show on TV, and I was just happily doing that while the show was going. So that was really great, and I'm just really loving how it turned out. Just really loving it. Well, this has been a fun one. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it.